9 ways narcissists sabotage their own lives and invite karmic justice. Hey there, amazing souls, ready for a mind-bending journey into the world of narcissism? Trust me, you are in for a wild ride. Ever wonder why narcissists always seem to end up alone? Despite their charm and success, here's the kicker. Their worst enemy isn't you, me, or anyone else they have heard. Nope. It's the person they see in the mirror every day. I've spent years helping people recover from narcissistic abuse, and let me tell you, the patterns are mind-blowing. These self-proclaimed kings and queens of the universe are actually the jesters in their own tragic comedy. Prepare to have your mind blown. Narcissists are like emotional arsonists, but the fire they are setting is burning down their own house, and they are too blind to see the smoke. I call it the narcissist boomerang effect. Everything they throw out in the world, the manipulation, the ego trips, the drama, it all comes flying back at them, usually when they least expect it. Today, we are exploring into 9 jaw-dropping ways narcissists sabotage their own lives. By the time we are done, you'll see how their own actions serve up a piping hot dish of karma with a side of poetic justice. So grab your popcorn and get comfy. We are about to watch the ultimate destruction show, starring the narcissist in your life, or maybe the one you have left behind. Ready to see how narcissists become their own worst enemies? Let's dive in. The number 1 is the perfectionism paralysis. Narcissists are often paralyzed by their need for perfection. Their fear of failure or imperfection prevents them from taking action, leading to missed opportunities and unfulfilled potential. Picture this. A brilliant novelist always talking about their groundbreaking book ideas, but never writing a single word. Why? They are terrified it won't match the masterpiece in their head. Perfect they crave, actions they wave, dreams they dreams. Reality never gleams. By obsessing over perfection, they are ensuring nothing ever gets done. Remember, done is better than perfect. Their perfectionism is like a straitjacket keeping them immobilized while the world moves on without them. I once worked with a couple where the husband's perfectionism was tearing their marriage apart. He had spent years perfecting simple tasks, from mowing the lawn to organizing the garage, leaving no time for his family. His wife felt neglected and resentful, pushing their relationship to the brink. Have you ever let perfectionism hold you back? How did you overcome it? Now let's shift gears and look at how this perfectionism bleeds into their relationship. That'd be number 2, the empty void. Narcissists struggle with empathy, often unable to understand or connect with others' emotions. This emotional blindness sabotages their relationships and create a pattern of interpersonal failures. Imagine a CEO celebrating record profits while their burnt-out team is heading for the exit. Talk about emotional tone deafness, feelings ignored, relationships stored, empathy lack, loyalty they lack. By ignoring others' emotions, they are creating a revolving door of relationships and opportunities. Their lack of empathy is like trying to navigate a minefield blindfolded. They are bound to step on a few explosives. A high-powered executive came to me, baffled why her team's morale was low despite record profits. She couldn't comprehend their complaints about long hours and stress, focusing solely on the bottom line. This empathy void was costing her valuable talent and threatening the company's future success. Speaking of not taking responsibility, this brings us to our next point. That'll be number 3, the blame game boomerang. Narcissists excel at shifting blame, never taking responsibility for their actions. This habit of finger pointing eventually erodes their credibility and relationships. Ever met someone who could find a way to blame their dog for global warming? That's our narcissist in action. Fault they deflect, consequences neglect. Blame they assign, credibility decline. Always pointing fingers means never learning from mistakes. It's like trying to drive forward while only looking in the rearview mirror. Their blame shifting is like a boomerang. It might fly away initially, but it always comes back to hit them. I once counseled a couple where the husband blamed his wife for everything, from his career setbacks to his health issues. His constant blame shifting left her feeling guilty and depressed. Eventually, she left and he found himself alone, still blaming others for his problems. Why did the narcissist cross the road? To blame the chicken? Of course. Now let's explore how this blame game ties into their grandiose self-image. That'll be number 4, the grandiosity gulf. The gap between a narcissist inflated self-image and reality is often vast. This disconnect leads to a poor decision-making and risky behavior that can have severe consequences. Think of a small-town cover band convinced they are the next Beatles, cute but potentially catastrophic when it comes to life decisions. Self-image inflates, reality deflates, ego they feed, failure they breed. Living in a fantasy world leads to real-world crashes. It's all fun and games until someone loses their life savings. Their grandiosity is like a hot air balloon, impressive from afar, but filled with nothing but hot air and prone to spectacular crashes. I once worked with a couple where the husband's grandiose business ideas were draining their savings. He saw himself as the next Elon Musk, investing in far-fetched ventures without due diligence. His wife was left picking up the pieces of their financial ruin, struggling to keep their family afloat. As we float down from these lofty heights of grandiosity, let's land on the rocky terrain of entitlement. That'll be number 5, the entitlement eruption. Narcissists believe they deserve special treatment, which often backfires spectacularly. Their sense of entitlement alienates others and closed doors. Imagine a D-list celebrity demanding a A-list treatment. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well for anyone involved, especially their career. Privilege expected, opportunities rejected. Entitlement reigns, reputation wanes. Believing they deserve special treatment often results in getting exactly the opposite. Their sense of entitlement is like a VIP pass to a party that doesn't exist. They're left standing alone outside an empty venue. A wealthy couple sought my help when their adult children cut ties with them. The parents couldn't understand why. But it became clear their entitlement was the culprit. They expected their children to cater to their every whim, never considering their kids' own lives and needs. Their entitlement cost them their family. Reflection time. Have you ever felt entitled to something? How did it impact your relationship? Now let's see how this entitlement plays into their manipulation tactics. And that'll be number 6, the manipulation misfire. While narcissists are often skilled manipulators, their tactics eventually become transparent. People wise up to their game, leaving the narcissist without their usual tools. Picture a puppet master suddenly finding all strings cut. That's what happens when people wise up to a narcissist game. Puppet strings pull, karma comes in full. Tricks they play, allies stray. Constantly manipulating others leads to a lonely end game. Turns out people don't like being puppets. Their manipulation is like a magic trick. Impressive at first, but once people know the secret, the magic disappears. I counseled a woman whose charming husband had manipulated her for years. He would play her against her family and friends, always ensuring he came out on top. When she finally saw through his tactics, she left, taking their social circle with her. He was left wondering why his magic no longer worked. As the curtain falls on their manipulation show, let's peek behind it at the emotional emptiness that drives it. That'll be number 7, the emotional vacancy. Narcissists often struggle with genuine emotional connections. This emptiness catches up with them, especially in times of need, leaving them without a support system. Think of an emotional bank account that's perpetually overdrawn. That's the narcissist's emotional life in a nutshell. Emotions suppressed, loneliness expressed, connections denied, solitude amplified. By avoiding genuine connections, they are setting themselves up for a lonely future. Their emotional life is like a beautiful empty mansion, impressive from the outside but cold and lifeless within. An elderly couple came to me, the wife at her wits' end. Her husband, a successful businessman, had spent his life avoiding emotional intimacy. Now retired, he found himself deep lonely, unable to connect with his wife or adult children. His emotional vacancy had left him rich in assets but poor in relationships. From this emotional desert, let's move to the oasis they create for themselves in the spotlight. And that'll be number 8. The spotlight addiction. Narcissists have an insatiable need for attention and admiration. This constant need to be the center of attention often leads to inappropriate behavior and strained relationships. Imagine someone who would crash a funeral just to be the center of attention. Yup, that's our spotlight addicted narcissists. Attention they crave, dignity they wait, center stage sought, relationships but always needing to be the star of the show means they often end up performing to an empty theater. Their need for attention is like a black hole, sucking in everything around them, yet never feeling full. I once counseled a couple where the wife's need for attention was destroying their marriage. She would flirt openly at parties, start arguments in public, and even faked emergencies to get her husband to rush home from work. Her spotlight addiction left her husband feeling used and resentful, pushing him towards divorce. As the spotlight fades, let's see how all these behaviors come together to create a perfect storm of karma. And that'll be number 9, the karma collector. Narcissists often leave a trail of hurt and betrayal in their wake, seemingly oblivious to consequences. However, their actions create a karmic debt that eventually comes due. Finally, picture someone who's been planting seeds of discord their whole life, then acting shocked when their garden blooms with chaos. Seeds of spite, harvest of blight, bridges aflame, self to blame. They forgot that what goes around comes around. Karma isn't a menu. You get served what you deserve. Their life is like a game of emotional Jenga. They keep pulling out pieces, oblivious to the inevitable collapse. A successful businessman came to me bewildered by his sudden downfall. He would climb the corporate ladder by stepping on others, manipulating situations, and taking credit for others' work. When the truth came out, he lost his job, his reputation, and his family in quick succession. His years of negative actions had finally caught up with him in a spectacular display of karmic justice. In conclusion, narcissists may seem like they are winning the game of life, but they are often just setting themselves up for a spectacular final act. Their own behavior becomes the karmic boomerang that eventually knocks them off their self-made pedestal. Remember, beautiful souls, you're not responsible for a narcissist journey. Your job is to recognize these patterns, protect your peace, and maybe, just maybe, enjoy the karmic show from a safe distance. Now let's talk about you. If you have recognized some of these patterns in your life, here's your homework. Number 1, start a self-awareness journal. Jot down moments when you catch yourself in any of these traps. Number 2, practice the empathy challenge. Once a day, try to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Number 3, embrace the imperfect action mantra. Do something daily, even if it's not perfect. Remember, growth is a journey, not a destination. Until next time, keep shining your light. Set those boundaries like a boss, and let the healing continue. After all, the best revenge is living well. And that's some karma we can all get behind. Final thought. How will you use this knowledge to improve your life and relationships? The power to change the script is in your hands. Thank you all for watching this video. If you feel that the points mentioned here resonates with you, or if you feel we have made a connection, I would like to ask you to spread this message. Share this video on your channel. Add it in your public playlist. Remember, if you are familiar with all these points, any narcissist who tries to get close to you will soon run away. They'll realize that you know all about their tactics. However, if you find yourself still stuck with a narcissist after all these years, even after knowing all this, it might be time to seek professional help. Remember, things won't change unless you take a step. So take an action today and contact a counselor. You can reach out to us at the number provided in the video description. Make a commitment to yourself that you'll bring about the change in your life. Keep in mind, if you don't start, no one else is going to come and change your life for you. So let's begin this journey now. That way, when the new year rolls around in a couple of months, you'll be stepping into it with a new mindset and a fresh perspective on life. I sincerely wish for happiness and love to fill your lives. We'll meet again in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself and stay strong. If this video has helped you, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who might need to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Your support means the world to us and help us reach more people who might be struggling with similar issues. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. And remember, you can and you will heal. Just start today.